Welcome back to Between Two Cars. Your hosts, Kyle Orr and Matt, the Walrus Maxwell.
Good morning.
Morning. Good year, right? It's end of 2024.
That's right. It's our last podcast in 2024.
So I guess calendar year-wise would be the end for Auto Parlor for their first year. But really, I mean, if we think about it, January 7th, I think, is when we sold or were able to sell our first car.
Yeah.
So that's been an eventful,
It's been a crazy year.
crazy year. A lot of changes, right?
Yeah. A lot of fun. A lot of people. Good
A
people.
lot of learning.
A lot of learning. I think we've, I think I calculated we're actually going to sell, I think it's a little bit over 500 cars our first year.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's somewhere right
Somewhere
around there.
I don't know the exact number yet because today is Saturday. We're going to post another 10 units today. Right? That's right.
We are stacked up for today.
Yeah.
So, but this is the time of year where people start thinking about changes they want to make for the next year and the new you and all that kind of stuff. And I know for a big portion for us is that, and I think this comes from just being a retail car business, right? You're trying to set expectations for your coming year and kind of who you want to be and where you want to be, and hopefully, people will take those New Year's resolutions and actually act on them. I know it's a common thing. You go out there and you set these goals, and you're all ready to rip rare and ready to go into the new year. And then, February hits and everything you promised yourself in the month of January seems to be kind of dissipated at that point.
Well, I think, you're right there. I think, we learned from Southwest Consulting, right, to doing these vision boards. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important to have that up because you can, if you have that up, I used to, when we did them before, we didn't do one last year, so we're going to do one this year. But I took a photo of that and had that on my phone too, right? And I had it on the background of my computer. So you're always you have it everywhere to where you kind of stay on point of what's driving you to help keep you kind of, in line with that or be more disciplined with your goals, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's one thing we're going to do. The vision boards. If you haven't done a vision board before, you can probably Google it and find out how to do it. But it's a very, very good thing. And then what we do is we take them to the next level as far as we do our vision board, then we'll have a meeting with everybody, and everybody talks about their vision and what their vision board means, so everybody's on the same page, and they help you. It creates teamwork, right? Because they'll help you get there.
Well, we had a great mentor one time, and I remember him pulling us in his office, James Corlew, and he said, "You've got to get a book, and you got to write down what your goals are. If you don't write down your goals and you can't go back and reflect on them, then they don't mean anything, basically." And so
I think you go back to James was one of them, but I think you go back to Stubblefield. Stubblefield got us on our goals. Back in the day, Stubblefield and Comar, all those guys that I had back in the day, and James was one of them too. They all, all successful people, I think, have the same trait. They have different ways of doing it, but they're goal oriented and they're focused all the time. And usually the ones that are like the Michael Jordans or that are very successful.
Well, you got to have a vision, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to have a path to get there. And the goals are ultimately what complete your vision.
Yeah,
right?
and then you have to have the work ethic and the discipline to attack. And that's where I don't know if we talked about this before. We had Tony out here. He's looking at he bought a car from his neighbor that we're going through, and we'll have shots of that at some point in time. But watching him just after he's been out of the car business, 7, 8 years, something like that. Watching maybe 10.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how
longer.
long, but watching him walk around that car and that passion and that goal, and that car's still not done. He will not put that car out for sale until that car is, in his mind, completely. That's a goal-oriented, focused person on doing something and finishing it through.
Yeah, seeing it through. Yeah. So yeah, so I guess for in this podcast, what I'd like to see people do is write their goals down and then see it through. You know, I've got a lot of with the help of people at the auto parlor and stuff. I've got a lot of big, ambitious goals that without support of other people and them knowing what they are, I wouldn't be able to hit on just my own accord. It's having one thing we have here is we're very, very close, so we have a lot of accountability, or I guess discussion on a daily or hourly basis that can hold you to what you want to be, what you want to do and what you want to be. And I think that helps in a small group setting for everybody to persevere through what they're looking for. So.
Well, it helps you overcome obstacles, right? I mean, if you have a goal and you're going through it and you have your why, you get up in the morning and you're ready to rock and roll versus getting up in the morning and you don't know where to go. It's kind of, who is it? Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. If you want to look up a good video or disc to listen to, I think he wrote in the 50s. But he talked about you are what you think about, right? So a vision board and goals, if you write them down and you're reading them and looking at them every day, they're in your mind. You're gonna attack that thing better than you would if you didn't, right? So why not sit down and take the time to really think about your goals and write them down, and then look at them every day and then go after it. I think that's what a lot of people fail is they don't really write their goals down, right? And they really don't go after it.
I always find myself this time of year, especially around the first, I watch a lot of Jim Rohn videos and stuff. He was a great speaker, but he's a very good motivator as far as going into the goal setting and how to compare yourself and keep you on track for that. There's a lot of great people out there that do the same thing. It's just, he's one I connect with. And so
that's cool.
Yeah.
You got a big year coming up. Very, very big year, 2025 for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be my, it's started 2 or 3 months ago going through
RCIA
to
convert to Catholicism.
So that's been pretty impactful for me on many levels.
It's
professional level, personal level, and just overall relationship level. So
yeah, I'm proud of you. That's a good thing. And you can feel the difference when you're involved with that too. Can you not?
Yeah, and I'll say this for me as a human, it's hard for me to. It takes a long time for me to get motivated in any kind of hobby or change. But once I have made up my mind to do that, I become pretty relentless on who I want to be or how I want to go about things.
Have you ever? I'm stopping. Have you ever noticed when we send somebody to go get us a drink, they never get us the big ones?
Well,
I've always noticed that.
comparatively speaking, your hand's much larger than mine, so this still seems to be big.
This is not an extra large,
but it's not an extra large. Yes,
it's always.
But
when the straw sticks out past your cup, 17 inches long, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's the same straw they use in baby and for the children's drink too. I'll get Willow a drink, and the straw will be double the size of the drink. It's kind of crazy. Like
that straw costs you $2.50.
They don't make smaller straws, huh?
I guess not. Maybe an Elfish. Maybe down at the Hobbit. I don't know.
That's funny. But no, go back to the, for me, I have to be 110% in on a lot of things that I do. And my wife makes fun of me. Because the downfall of that is that, it's easy to defeat yourself when you're like that. Once you start seeing loss instead of gain, then it's easy to kind of move away from that, which the unique thing for me about going through Catholicism is there's so much to learn. Like it would take you. I don't know you could ever learn it all, right? You could just continue to research and
It's
work
deep.
on yourself, and
Yeah.
so that's fascinating. So that's what's exciting for me is that there's a continuous gain of knowledge, something that doesn't seem like it's gonna end.
That's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
You know, that's it. It's gonna be a fun, exciting year. I'm excited about that. So when you go through that process, and then yesterday I was talking to one of my coaches, and was it yesterday, day before yesterday?
Yesterday.
And we were going through, okay, hey, what are you going to do for the next year and stuff, and prioritizing your day. And I told him, I said, I really want to start, and I mentioned us, but I said, we built this based on a Christian faith-based deal,
Company,
right?
yeah,
Company,
yeah.
right? So, and then we have Hebrews up on the wall, which explains our documentation fee 316, right? And excuse me. And what I said, our next step is that we need to involve the Word and Christ more than just on Sundays. So we're going to sit down and say, okay, hey, is there a way we can get to church three times during the week and stuff like that to move forward? And he's like, well, you have to set, so what is your morning routine? He just goes, what's your morning routine? I said, well, I really haven't written down a morning routine yet.
Well, it's kind of abstract, right?
Right. I said, so you
Do the same things, but they're not done during the same
right,
times.
Right. So he goes, you guys need to start there with the morning routine. And then our other thing is that we want to start a Bible study.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that. So it'll be, and I think what we need to do in that Bible study, if we can figure it out, because it's a little bit different, is record those too and have those discussions to where people can read, watch those too as well. So we'll have to talk to Brecken about that and see how we can do that. But you can see our company and what we're doing, and it's a small company. It's not huge, but it's when you involve, Christ, how things kind of progress. And, we got some things that we got to get through in the next year and stuff. But I really think 2025 is going to define us spiritually in a way that we're going to be able to help people and change things.
We'll help get them back on course, right? So
right.
maybe their aspirations and stuff like that.
I'm really excited about being involved, and that we're involved with Catholic Charities. I'm really excited about working with Ken and Suzanne and all those people. And I tell you, the guy that blows my mind, that I'm just like, I texted him the other day and I said, "You're just an incredible person." Is you know who he is, Mr. Insurance. Craig Henley.
Craig Henley.
This guy's an animal. He was. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to. I'm a pretty competitive guy, and I don't want to be competitive with him. I'm telling you.
Well, if you look at Craig, and I know him lightly, I know him more as a customer than I do on a personal base. But you can watch his company and his lifestyle, right? He's pretty. For the most part, he's pretty physically fit, right?
Physical. He climbs mountains, brother.
Yeah.
He goes over and climbs.
He's very high energy.
I'm like,
right?
I'm like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I'm gonna go over and climb Mount Everest. What?
Very high energy. He's involved in everything.
He's Knights of Columbus. I believe it was either Christmas Eve or maybe it was a day before. I didn't. He's playing Christmas music, I believe, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's at the hospital. He plays the piano. I believe he's at the hospital. He fills in for whoever. He was over at he cooked dinner for the Life House and had a meeting with them about the importance of insurance and stuff like that he needed to help them with. So he gave him him and his wife his family did that. He's got he's heavily involved with the church. I think he won an award that the bishop gave him, and I'm just like, this is a guy that is
And here's the thing: when you see
Impresses me.
somebody like that, right, they're doing everything from the heart.
100%.
So
We got his car parked out here. We're going to help him get back running and stuff like that. But he's just a genuine. Those are the people you want to be around. That you're just like, okay, wow. That if I can have 1/10 of his passion and energy, we're going to be able to make a difference because he makes that much of a difference. And there's a lot of people out there like that.
well, you got to be so.
Suzanne Concract's one. Ken Palermo's one. We keep saying his name wrong.
We never know how to say Ken's last name, but that's all right. But here's the thing for me, like,
Bishop Rice is one.
like, well, let's just take, and this is a big name, right?
Ryan O'Reilly's one. I mean, I could keep going and going and going.
Take a big name like Jordan became inspirational. Michael Jordan, right? We bring him up a lot just because we relate. Well, we don't relate, but we kind of like what he did in his career, sports career.
Well, I love
But
his,
everybody becomes, at some point, they make a decision to become inspirational, right?
well, that guy. If
You'll take Andy Reid, right, with the Chiefs. He's inspirational. I mean, with the teams he's been on, and
yeah, let's go back to Michael Jordan. If you watch,
lead to inspire.
He held everybody accountable. He said, if we're going to win, you're going to have a heart of a lion, and you're not going to be here. And he flat was. I mean, he wasn't nice to everybody. He got out there, he got in your head and made people. They said the practices, they practiced harder than they played in the games. And the reason they did that was because it made the games easier. So when you practice with Michael Jordan, you better have your A game on. And I remember Magic Johnson was talking about, they were practicing for the Olympics, and he challenged Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And, Magic Johnson was on the opposite team, and so they were sitting there mouthing off, and he goes, I'll never do that again. He goes, that guy, when he's extremely competitive, but when that guy took off, he did some 360 dunk with his tongue hanging out deal and slammed the ball and scored 50 points or something in practice. He goes, he just took it. And that's when that's when Larry Bird and I sat there and said, this guy's unbelievable.
Right.
And you know what I like about him today, is that they talk about LeBron James, right? LeBron James being the best player that's ever played, and Michael Jordan being the best player that's ever played. Michael Jordan's never said I'm the best player that's ever played. He's never said it. He goes, how can you ever determine who the best player that's ever played? Because everybody played in different eras, and the game was different for everybody. Sure. He goes, all I did is went out and played my best, and that's all I could ask for. So I don't, I'm not caught up in who's the best player in the world. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, yeah. What's it mean, right?
Well,
but lead to inspire. Look at
right.
the difference between LeBron James and Michael Jordan, how they act. Is there the same level of respect from people that Michael Jordan gets or that LeBron James gets as Michael Jordan gets? And the answer I'll say is no. Michael Jordan's respectable. There are people who like LeBron James and respect his ability to play the game. But as an overall person, I guarantee you if they walked into a crowded room somewhere, people would recognize both of them. There would be more people that flock to talk to Michael Jordan than they would LeBron James. And that's the difference, right? Mm-hmm. And he led to inspire. And so, and I think, there's a lot of athletes you can point that out with. There's a lot of coaches and stuff. Like Lou Holtz for me, and you know this too. I've read countless books about Lou Holtz, but he led to inspire people.
Well, of course, he's the greatest coach, I believe, college coach. And he coached Notre Dame to a national championship. Go Irish. They're going to hopefully win one this year. But Coach Freeman from Notre Dame was talking to Lou Holtz, and they came out, and Lou Holtz coached other teams, but his passion is like you said, leading people. But he loves Notre Dame. Of course, he won a national championship with him.
Well, I think his legacy started when he was in South Carolina. Right?
Yeah, and so he spoke about. He goes, there's a difference when when you go into like Notre Dame, right? It's got that winning tradition, that Catholic history winning tradition type deal. And he says he always talks about. He goes, we are Notre Dame. I mean, the difference is we're Notre Dame and they're not. That's the difference between everybody else.
Right.
And they set that standard. What I love about what they're doing right now, and we're going to go back to our faith a little bit, is they come out as a team and they pray in the end zone together before the game. And then when the game's over at Notre Dame, when they game when they're at home or whatever, they go in front of the band. And a good friend of mine graduated from there, Josh Hartman. He's a great guy too. He could probably tell you if I'm right or wrong on this, but I believe they go out there and they sing a song together, and they're all holding hands. Coaches and everybody are out there doing it, and that brings camaraderie. That brings teamwork. That brings you're all on the same page. And I was just reading something this morning because they're playing Georgia, and they lost their number one defensive lineman's out, right? All-American defensive lineman's got hurt in the last game. And so their defensive coach, or one of their coaches, I'm not sure which one it was. It's the one that went to Penn State. One of their coaches went to Penn State and actually beat Notre Dame in the national championship when they were playing them. Caught the ball. He was a tight end. Caught the ball. And now he's one of the coaches at Notre Dame. And he's up there and he goes, "Hey, we feel bad that the guy's hurt, but this isn't about one player. It's about the team."
Yeah.
And the next person's up and let's go. We got a mission. They're focused, right? So, and that's what's got them where they're at. They kind of flew under the radar. They lost a horrible game to Northern Illinois in the beginning of the season. Everybody was wanting to fire the coach, but they probably needed to lose. And that's another thing about what happened last year with us. We went through a lot of turmoil. We had a lot of things that we weren't consistent with. A lot of people come in that didn't see our vision, that we had to get off the team. We made some bad decisions, so we had to make. We have to lose in order to understand and respect winning.
Yeah.
And now if we knew what we knew today, last year at this time, there's a lot of things differently than we would have done. But we have to go through all that to understand and respect what we're going through. And one of the things is. Josh and his team over at Commander Financial has really. I mean, they're great human beings, great people,
Stepped up and helped us,
and they're helping us and help teaching us to kind of get through. And he's we wouldn't be at where we're at if it wasn't for them, And that's I think God put us together for a reason, and they're still helping us, and we're gonna repay that back as far as helping in the long run with them, because I'm going to turn that favor to them because they've really taught us some good things that we need to work on. But it's just interesting how when we were struggling a little bit in the middle of the summer, right? Mm-hmm. We got away from our faith a little bit, and we got away from being consistent with it. And the minute we decide, okay, hey, we got to get back, go back and read. Basically, our creed, I guess, our business plan. Reread that, get refocused on that. What happened?
Yeah,
it flipped.
So,
and now it's just we're doing it even more so, and it's probably gonna get even more consistent next year. And that's what I'm excited about. So,
sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, it's So, I guess to kind of wrap the podcast up for everybody is. Go out there and, take some time the next, what do you got, 4 days left of the year?
Yeah, well, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, you got 4 days left of the year. Take some time and actually write out. I like to write a business goals, and then I like to write personal goals. And I break them down, like health-wise, financial goals, and just personal goals, what I'd like to see in myself develop, and then make a plan and accomplish those things. And those little small strides towards the right goals and staying on track will make the reward is much bigger.
Our next podcast, what we need to do, reckon, is when we do. It'll be next Friday, right? Is when maybe that's when we go over our vision board.
Vision board.
Or vision boards with everybody. Or have a couple of them on here, and we do our vision board so everybody kind of see what we're doing and how it works, and then kind of go from there. You know what I'm saying? So I know we got to do a short one today, so I appreciate 2024 is about over for us, buddy.
Yep.
So I appreciate
Cheers.
everything, and everybody have a great time because we're going to rock and roll today, and we'll see you next year.